everyone, hello, hope everyone's okay. As promised, here is a video that I'm now going to be recording for you talking about the 8 Clairsenses. I mentioned this on my live on Tuesday that I wanted to do it, and here I am. I did also want to do mention about the tips and how to get the best things to know about when you go to have a reading. But I think I'll do that in another video because I've got a lot to cover in this, and I don't want to be talking for hours on it. So basically, here we go. People say, how do spirit communicate? How do I get messages? What to look out for? Things like that. So there's lots and lots of ways which spirit can communicate. Some can be very subtle, and others can be quite obvious. You know, obvious as in something smashes, something actually falls off a side, objects can be moved, you know, even missing objects. You know, when you can't locate something, you think, it was there, I just saw it, it's gone, it's vanished, but then suddenly it will appear and it will turn up. It might be in the same spot as where you last saw it, it might be in somewhere different, and you think, that moved, and you just know. Spirit are very cheeky. They like to have a little play and a bit of fun with us. It's just attention, you know, trying to get your attention basically. So there's obviously that. Other ways they can communicate through, you know, electronics. That is a big one. It's something that they can influence. Electronics, especially the Wi-Fi. You know, interfering with your Wi-Fi, your signal, things like that. Oh, I'll tell you about that. I've had an experience with that. But actually, the other day, light bulbs. I fitted a new light bulb in one of my lamps. Literally had it for 2 or 3 days, and then this day it just went, and I was like, what's going on with that? So I took it out, and the element had gone, and I was like, it's only 2 days. What's going on with that? So I put another bulb in. Works perfectly fine. Has been since. So it's just a way of saying, hey, I'm here. So yeah, light bulbs, electronics. You know, if I'm spending a lot of time like late at night, maybe on social media or something, and I really should be going to bed, then spirit might be saying, come on, you're tired, you don't need to be doing this, and I'll find that my phone just does its own mind of its own thing. Like I might be talking to somebody in a message, and suddenly the keyboard will just do its own thing, and I'll be writing a load of gobbledygook, and I'm like, hold on a minute, and I have to delete it. And it's putting kind of effort in your way, and you're like, oh yeah, and it's them. I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty sure it's them. It's like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to bed. But yeah, so things like that go wrong. A little while ago, I did a job. I had to work from home in the end through lockdown. I was taking the emergency calls, and yeah, so I was doing that from home. And I would have trouble like these nights. My signal on my phone would drop out. So then, you know, and I kind of brushed it off, you know, as you would. You just think, okay, sometimes we have bad signal. Which, you know, is the case. But obviously with the sequence of the ones that I kept coming my way, I realised that actually that was spirit trying to give me a sign that I shouldn't be doing that, putting my efforts into that job anymore, and doing, well, what I'm doing now. So, because I was ready for it. So I would then switch to the home phone. And things would be going alright, but it wasn't as good. I couldn't hear very well on the home phone. It was just not ideal. But you know, and then obviously, so because I've ignored their first, you know, attempt with the mobile and the signal, then I've switched to the landline. They're then finding other ways to go listen to us. So then my Wi-Fi would go down, and it would be crashing. The system would be crashing, and we're like, oh, I'm so sorry, I can't. I'm literally having to bail on the shift. It was a nightmare. I think I was due in the next day as well in the morning, and I'm one of these people. I like to be organised. I like to get to work earlier than normal. You know, just so I can get myself ready, get all set up, not, you know, without a hitch. And no, like literally turned the computer on. All I got presented with was a blue screen, which I'd never seen before. Couldn't do nothing with it, nothing. And so I'm ringing in, it's like, I can't, there's, the universe is telling me something, and from that minute I didn't go back to that. I didn't do any more. So that was what that was the I kind of got the message at that point. So yeah, electronics is a big one they like to use. Also song lyrics, that happens to me quite a bit. Song lyrics. So I could be listening to the radio and I could actually ask Spirit, send me a song that I need to hear, or a message, and it will be a song and the lyrics will resonate with me. Or I may just be waking from my sleep in the morning and there'll be immediately a song in my head. It could be a song that I know and recognise, it could be one that I haven't heard before, but I'm hearing very clearly a tune and part of the lyrics. So then I will Google it, I'll YouTube it, quite literally, listen to it, and yeah, definitely there is messages within that. So lyrics, it would normally be songs that resonate with you, so ones that you're, you know, music you like. So if you're not a fan of rock, let's say, then it would be unlikely that they would send you a rock song. So it's more ones that they're going to choose ways which you are likely to go to and hear and get the message. So yeah, music can be one. Numbers is another. Obviously numbers and numerology, they have meanings. So you might just constantly see numbers, like everywhere you look, where your eyes go, where your gaze meets. I had it one day. I was doing my not spiritual work, my celebrant work, my funeral celebrant work, and I was on the way to a crematorium. And on the way, I just could not escape the numbers 66 and 20. Wherever I looked, I was seeing it on door numbers, on number plates. It could be signages on vans going past, like their telephone numbers. Your eyes home in on the numbers and it pops out at you. It's like you're drawn to seeing it, and it was like 20, 66, every car, and I was like, this is not right, what's going on? But yeah, so, and the more I acknowledged that actually there could be a message and I need to look it up when I stop, the more I was seeing it. I was on the motorway, I was literally sandwiched between two cars the whole way, and both of their number plates were 66. So I was like, this is bizarre. So needless to say, I looked up the numbers and got the message, and yeah, it related to me at the time. So they will use that to come in. Also things that you relate with and you have an affinity with. So if you're very much like into like feathers and things like that, then maybe you will see feathers. If you're seeing a feather float from the sky and there's not a bird in sight, not a tree, not anything which it could have fallen from, then, and your eyes meet and the gaze meet that feather, then that was a message for you, that was for you. And it can be quite them simply saying, I'm here, I'm with you, everything's going to be all right, we're with you. Quite simple as that, really. Some people like to keep the feathers, collect them. I personally, I catch them or pick them up, and I will thank them and say thank you for your message, I got your message, and then I blow it away with a positive wish for somebody else. So I will say, may the next person who sees this feather have a lovely day, or something like that. So that's what I do. But you know, everybody can do different things. What else? How else? You know, some people are very much to do like connection with animals, so they may keep seeing little birds, especially robins. Robins tend to be quite known as a spiritual animal. People make the link between that, so you may see things like that. There are lots of ways that they can communicate. Honestly, there are tons. I've just named a few, but mostly they will use our senses, which I'm going to be talking about. So, as we know, we have our 5 or 6 senses, if you count the 6th sense, and spirit are not in the physical realm anymore, so they don't have the voice box, and they're not able to tap you on the shoulder and say, hi, I've got a message for you, here it is. So they have to think outside of the box almost, and you know, be a bit creative and use our senses. So we have got our sight, our hearing, touch, smell, taste, and then your 6th sense. And the 6th sense will be kind of broken down. That's like your intuition. It's broken down into these psychic abilities, these clairsenses, and there's 8 of them. Okay, so firstly, let me have a drink actually. I'm getting a bit dry. Just banged my teeth. Okay, clairvoyance. That's probably one of the most common ones that you would have heard thrown about. Oh, she's a clairvoyant, he's a clairvoyant. And clair stands for clear, voyance, see. Clear seeing. So the ability to see clearly. And when you hear that, you kind of conjure up in your head and you think, oh, these people can see dead people all the time. And that's not the case. I'm not saying that people with that heightened ability cannot see physically with their eyes something form or take on the shape of a human being. No, I'm not saying that. That can happen, and I've even experienced it myself. But what I am saying is the ability to see images or within your mind's eye, and that's generally what it is, and that's what you're developing. Normally, people who are very creative, imaginative, would be more receptible to developing and having that ability be heightened. So if you are an imaginative person, then that may be your gateway and maybe your way to work with that one, a good one to work with. But yeah, it's seeing with your mind's eye, so using your third eye chakra. It could be images, visions, things like that. And it's one of the most misunderstood abilities, because it's so easy for us to kind of fob it off and pass it off as like it never happened, and no, we didn't see that. I have got a wild imagination. We can say things like that. It's quite hard to trust it. It is. So we question it a lot. So it's easy to kind of pass things off, what you might have seen, or especially in dreams. If you might see things in your dreams, spirit also appear in your dreams and give you messages, and it's in your subconscious. If you use a lot of vocabulary and words like seeing and looking, look over here, see this, do you see what I mean? Things like that. Then again, that's an indicator that you are quite a visual person, and that again, that would be maybe your stronger sense, or definitely one to explore. So that's clairvoyance, seeing, mostly again in the mind's eye, but it doesn't rule out seeing with your physical eye. Okay. So then we have clairaudience, so clear hearing. For me personally, this is one of mine that's more heightened. Again, like the one I just mentioned, it can be physically hearing, like I've heard my name being called when I'm on my own, totally on my own, or some, heard something behind, I turn around, nothing there. It's not ruling that out, but again, you hear it almost in your inner ear, in your mind, and it will be, most of the time, a lot of the time, it will be in your own voice. Again, hard to trust, right? But you do need to learn to trust it, and trust the information that's coming in. With ones like clairaudience and some of the other ones that we go, I'm going to get to, like the smell and the taste ones, things like that, then they are a little bit easier to trust than, say, the clairvoyance, which I just mentioned, because we know what we heard, right? We know what we smell and we taste. It's more, you can go, no, I'm not going crazy. So they are a little bit easier to trust if we physically hear something. But yeah, most of the time it's in your own head. You'll hear it in your own voice, and that's purely because spirit do not want to scare you. Can you imagine, like they need to give you a bit of information, or you've asked for an answer and you're waiting, and then you hear, don't do it. Or, in somebody else's voice, you'll be like, oh my God, where did that come from? So yeah, it's that is the way to do it. They don't want to scare you, and that's literally it. So they will give it to you in a voice that you recognise. Yeah, spirit don't want to scare you. Same with seeing. People get spooked. They don't want to see. Oh, I don't want to see a spirit. Oh, and if that's the case, if you really don't want to see, or you're not ready to see, then it's unlikely that you will. They won't present themselves to you in this life. It's very much see it to believe it, and I appreciate that. It is. I agree. If any of us have beliefs and things, it's normally through an experience that we've had ourselves. So I do agree with that. However, once you kind of accept it and go, okay, maybe there is something else, you know, and you go, okay, I want to see some more. Okay, show me again. Show me this again. I saw you before. Show me again. You watch. Wait for something to happen. It doesn't come, because then it switches. It switches from see it to believe it to see it. And that's purely because they want to, it's almost testing your commitment. It's testing to see whether you're going to use these abilities for great good. You know, are you, you know, you're not going to be, the spirit are not going to give you the lottery numbers, things like that. It's just, that's not for personal gain. So it's almost testing, are we just testing them? Do you see what I mean? It's because it takes a lot of energy for them to get messages to us. It's not easy. Like I said, they have to lower their vibration. We're on different wavelengths, almost. We're on different realms, so they have to lower their vibration. And we, equally, mediums, the psychic who's getting the message to you or yourself, have to raise our vibration to meet them in the middle, so that the messages can get through. Otherwise, it's like trying to get a message through a sponge. You know, it's hard. It uses a lot of energy and it can be draining for the person and the spirit. So they're not going to waste energy. Say, you know, for somebody who may be closed off, quite closed off with their mind, not as open-minded, maybe a skeptic, it's unlikely that they will see things, maybe have experiences so much, because it's almost wasting energy, because that person is blocked. They're putting blocks. They're not almost approachable, if you like. So if you're scared or you're wondering about that, then please don't be scared. They spirit are very loving. They don't want to scare you. They'll only appear or, you know, make themselves known to you if they feel that you're ready, you can handle it, and or you know, you're accepting of it. Pretty much. But yeah, so clairaudience, you'll hear it in your own voice. So yeah, definitely need to learn to trust that one. I've had to learn to trust that one. Also, you can get a ringing in your ear. Now, disclaimer before I go on. So if you get ringing in your ear, then please check it out. Maybe have a hearing test, or maybe see a doctor. It could be an underlying health issue like tetanus. That must be awful. So definitely get it checked out, things like that, for medical purposes. But a lot of people who are spiritual and psychics or anything like that have reported that that is a common trait, if you like, a common thing to have when you're developing your abilities, is hearing the ringing in your ear. And depending on which ear, it can mean different things. So if it's your right ear, then it's more than likely to be a message from your guardian angel. If it's the left ear, that's more the side where your spirit guides are. So a message from your spirit guides. So that's interesting to know. And when you get that ringing, it's almost letting you know that there is a download. They're downloading a piece of information for you that is dropped in, and it's going to be ready for you to kind of call upon when you need it, which brings me on to the next clairsense. Okay, so the next one, claircognizance. This one, for me, is quite heightened as well. It's one of my more developed ones. So this is clear knowing. So just knowing information that you think, how do I know that? I shouldn't know that. How do I know that? Know something about somebody that that is just, I don't know them. It's almost like it's you can't explain it. I've had examples. maybe somebody I've been speaking to might have been telling me about her son who's got a new girlfriend, and I know she's just about to tell me the girlfriend's name, and I interject and I say, Sophie, and they're like, how do you know? And I say, I don't know, it just come to me. And it literally is with Claircognizance, and that is where they've obviously downloaded the message and it's there. It's almost like word vomit in your mouth, ready to come out before your brain has even had a chance to engage and think about what the person's saying. It's there, it's ready to go and come out. Quite literally, it comes out almost instantly. So if you ever get that and you kind of blurt something out and it's pretty much instant, you haven't even had a chance to kind of engage your brain to think about it, then it's more than likely that you were working with claircognizance, and that was your clear knowing. You just knew that. Could be that your friend was talking to you about a job opportunity, whether they should take it or not, and you just go, don't do it. You might just blurt something out like that. No, stop. And then you kind of sit there and go, sorry, I don't know what come over me. I don't know why I said that. And you actually are quite shocked because you don't know where it come from. Well, it come from somewhere. So there are some examples. You might just be talking to somebody and you know what they're going to say, and then after you say, I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. And then we quite quickly move on and carry on talking, but really that was a pinnacle moment. You were using claircognizance. You knew what they were going to say. I've had it before where I've, knew the phone was going to ring. I knew the phone was going to ring and who it was. And I know who it was, and blow me down, it rings and it is that person. So they are some examples. I'm sure most of you can relate to moments like that where that has happened, and it's just clear knowing. It's knowing something. How could you know that? So that is claircognizance. Clairsentience. This one is clear feeling. Okay, so it's like that gut feeling, our intuition. It really pulls on it. So it's the sensing which one to go with. So example for this, you could be in, say, Tesco's or Asda's or supermarket, say, and you've done your shopping and now it's time to go to the till, and all the queues are long and you're thinking, which one do I go in? I need to get out of here. Which one do I feel is going to go down the quickest? And you're drawn, and it's almost like you just know, you pick one, but you're drawn to it, so you go to it, and it turns out that is the quicker one. You've used clairsentience there. So that is the feeling. You might just get a feeling that something isn't right, or I shouldn't do that. That again, that's clairsentience. We get it. That is our intuition. It's that little voice inside. Sorry, I've just thought of something that was, to mention, obviously, about clairaudience, hearing things in your head, voices, obviously, again, hearing voices in your head again. So definitely something to kind of check up on, But yeah, so it's definitely check up on that if you're hearing voices. We're not crazy. So clairalience is the next one. So this is about smell. So clear smell. So, spirits will use scent as a way to let you know that they are around. So it could be that you have to smell a distinctive waft of a particular perfume. It might be from one of your relatives who's passed, and you're like, oh, I just smelled Nan's perfume, and I don't know where it comes from. We don't use it. How could it? That could be one. Or somebody who smoked. You might get a distinct, smell of tobacco, something like that. I know that I've had it when my granddad's been around, because I can distinctly smell Stilton cheese, and I'm not a big fan of cheese, so it's not something that I really keep in my fridge or anything, and I would have it and it'd be strong. It'd be strong like as if somebody's got it and wafting it under my nose, and I'm like literally like smelling the air, like, where is this coming from? I'm looking in the fridge, I'm hunting for where the smell is coming from, and in the end I just have to say, hi Grandad, like, thanks for coming. But yeah, so they do use your sense of smell. as a way to kind of say hello and let you know of their presence. If you've ever had that before, then you were using clairalience. Another one, clairgustance. This is for taste. So it's the clear taste, the ability to taste clearly without something physically in your mouth. So again, this one's quite common with healers because it can be related to something medical. If you've got a sweet taste, you know, maybe somebody's diabetic and it's telling you, you know, the healer, question that. You know, sometimes it's a metallic taste. So it can be related to health issues. So quite common experience for healers to experience that one. But that's clairgustance. The next one is clairtangience, and this is clear touch. So otherwise known as the ability for psychometry, if you've ever heard of that. Like the medium might say, "Oh, can I take a piece of your jewellery or hold an item of yours?" And they hold it and then they get pieces of information from that, especially like old kind of objects or antiques. It holds a lot of energy. Everything is energy and it holds our energy. It's like an imprint on it. So that is obviously that's psychometry. People might actually get it from physically touching a wall, going into a place. So that's clairtangience. It's obviously one of the things when you buy things and you buy them new, it's going to have your energy on it. When you buy things second-hand or antiques, you have to remember that that holds energy of other people's and you're bringing it into your home. So if you do that, no problem getting antiques or having older furnishings and things. But it might be an idea to cleanse it, maybe with an incense or some sage, so that it's you're not bringing somebody's negative energy, hopefully not, into your home and living space. So that's a tip. The last one, clairempath. So this is about emotions, clear emotions. So the ability to pick up on emotions, but not only of you, but of others. So it's almost like reading a room. You can sense and pick up on somebody's emotions. Like you might feel there's been an argument in here. Not from physically looking at people's facial expressions and seeing, but feeling it within yourself. It might be you pick up on ailments and illnesses and things like that. I've had it myself where with my friend I will get a headache come on all of a sudden. I won't say anything and I'll just kind of ride it out. And the next thing you know, I'm looking over and she's delving in her bag looking for headache tablets. And so, what are you doing? She's like, I've got a banging headache. And I'm like, oh, I've got your headache. Please send it away. Literally, it's so, especially if you're quite in tune with that person, you're linked, that can happen. So, clairempath, obviously common with empaths. Again, healers as well. That's quite a heightened one. So they are the 8 clairsenses run through. Obviously, I knew this wasn't going to be a short video, I had a lot to cover, but I will get round to posting another video on things to look out for and bear in mind when you're coming to have readings, tips for you, just to get the best out of it, because I think it's always worth doing. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video. I've enjoyed recording it, and I hope you get some information out of it and you're just more aware of how you may be even using these abilities yourself in your life. But I look forward to seeing or hearing from you on my lives. But yeah, until next time, bye!